And finally, gonna talk some more football. So, recap: we covered the Jacksonville Jaguars getting the offensive line coach from Auburn, and then we also talked about the defensive coordinator coming from Atlanta into Jacksonville. Happy for them. Talk about the messy, uber messy Cliff Kingsbury and the Commanders and Raiders situation. Raider Nation feeling like they got double crossed and stabbed in the back. Cliff Kingsbury looks at the prospect of getting Caleb Williams, the guy he coached and drew up a lot of packages for in USC. Also a DC native coming home. I think the good people of Washington can be proud of that. And the Saints. The Saints don't come marching in. Shoddy accounting practices, millions over the cap, free agents all over the place, and borrowing against your future to pay for today is always a strategy for disaster. There are also $30 million on the hook to Derek Carr. Yikes. Which brings us to our final story. We're going to jump lanes, going to go from pro back to college, because we went from college to pro, now pro back to college. Going to talk about Michigan, the good folks of Ann Arbor, the national defending champions, the Michigan Wolverines. This is another story from Football Scoop coming via by way of Doug Samuels. Talks about Michigan staying in-house to fill the offensive coordinator role. Now, Sharon Moore, that's the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. He's tapped Kirk Campbell to fill the offensive coordinator vacancy at Michigan. So happy for him. Happy to hear that. The hire provides ultimate continuity for the defending national champions, which have obviously benefited schematically, but should also bode well for the Wolverines in terms of keeping the roster intact for potential transfer portal departures that have become customary after head coaching changes. Which I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if a kid was recruited by Harbaugh that came and sat in his house, talked to him, seen him after games, shook his hand, told him, hey, look, I'm going to be in Michigan. You went to Michigan for that because he built that relationship with you. But then when you seen Harbaugh left, then, hey, look, you need to make the best decision for yourself and your career. You know, if you're blessed to meet that guy down the line in the pros, so be it. But at this moment, I don't think so. I don't think you stay at Michigan because you wasn't sold on the school. You were sold on the person. And I think those are the benefits in recruiting in state versus recruiting out of state. Out of state, you came for that person. You came for the pageantry. You came for that guy and the atmosphere that he created. But the in-state guys, they are the diehards. They grow up holding these teams close to their heart. And so the rivalry games mean a little bit more. The games on the schedule mean a little bit more because this is all they've known all their life. So congratulations to Michigan for staying in-house and providing some continuity on that offense. Now, early in the season, the game against ECU, Campbell stepped in as the team's offensive coordinator, while Mike Moore served as Moore served as the interim head coach. He has previously offensive coordinator experience at Old Dominion during 2020 and 2021 season, where he also mentored the quarterbacks. Prior to Old Dominion, Campbell was an offensive analyst for Penn State staff. And also he spent time as the offensive coordinator at Alderson Broaddus, a D2 West Virginia school, where he enjoyed a 5-month stint as program's head coach before leaving for Happy Valley. The program also announced that Grant Newsome will move from tight end. Well, he's going to move from the tight ends coach to the offensive line coach. So congratulations to them. Seems like Michigan has a lot of plug and play going on in that coaching facility. But is this enough in the Big Ten? And I'm not being a hater. I'm not being one of the naysayers or backbiters. I'm just asking a question. Is this really enough? And we'll get into that shortly when we come back from another break. Quick 20 from an unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Big Vern at App Stupid. Planet Fitness, Big Fitness Energy. Yes, Big Fitness Energy is a judgment-free zone. Go to any Planet Fitness. Go to any Planet Fitness, your local Planet Fitness, sign up online, download the app, visit the trainers and different amenities that they have at Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, Big Fitness Energy. So, we talked about Michigan. We talked about them having all of these coaches in a plug and play situation, guys moving over from the O-line to the offensive coordinator position, them having guys that they can just put in position to succeed. That's going to be cool. But the question that I asked before the break was, is this really going to be enough in the Big Ten? I mean, Michigan has the 19th ranked recruiting class. You just lost a charismatic head coach in Jim Harbaugh. You just lost a defensive coordinator who bolted with him to LA. A lot of kids kind of left the program. You've got the 19th ranked recruiting class. The guys in Ohio State licking their chops. They want some payback. The Big Ten devoured the Pac-12. So now you've got Pac-12 teams that are playing in the Big Ten for the first time ever. You've got 14 four-star kids, 13 three-star kids. They're getting 2 kids. John Preby from Northwestern, the interior O-lineman. And then you've got Jyshawn Barham from Maryland. He's a linebacker. Is that enough? I don't know. I really don't know. Then when you go down the schedule, September the 7th, they play Texas. Damn. Then you get to lick your chops and, lick your wounds and whatever pride you got coming. You play Arkansas State on the 14th. Then again, you got this new Pac-12 team coming right into the Big Ten, which September the 21st, you play USC. Whew. Then you play Minnesota, which I know you can beat them. Then you play Washington. You play Illinois, Michigan State, a rivalry game, October the 26th. That's going to be hell on wheels. Oregon, November the 2nd. My God, November the 2nd. Then Indiana, November the 9th. Nobody knows what that's going to look like. That's a road game. Cignetti, by way of James Madison, by way of Alabama, with an Alabama staff that went to James Madison to follow him. That's now all at Indiana. Who knows what that's going to look like? I'm going to have to cover that. That's at Indiana. The home game before that with Oregon, that's going to be one where you're going to have to win. Northwestern, that's another home game on the 23rd. And then on the 30th, you go to Ohio State. That's a hell of a schedule. That's the season finale, is Ohio State. And the 19th recruiting class, that might not be enough to get it done. Especially the way I've been covering Ohio State and them actually taking the number 1 kid in the transfer portal, Aaron Nord being the quarterback that they had, Sin being the guy who was Nick Saban's hand-picked successor. When he found out that Nick retired, he was like, I'm not sticking around for this. And 28 other kids from Alabama thought the same thing. That guy's in Ohio State. Ohio State had the number 4 recruiting class in the country. And this is by 24/7 Sports. Not only that, you got these new teams from the Pac-12 that are in the Big Ten, those high potent offenses. And I know you'll sit up here and say, well, we stopped Washington. Washington is a different breed now. Jeff Fish took over. And now he's bringing his brand of offense to Washington. And they're looking to go ahead and prove a point. And if Washington beats Michigan, and well, this one's in Washington, so this one's on the road. But if they beat Michigan badly, now you have yourself another rivalry in the Big Ten. Now, you don't play Iowa, which is weird to me, but you get Minnesota. So, like I said, I haven't done too much work on Minnesota, and I'll get into some Golden Gopher football and what that means. And I didn't see Purdue on this schedule at all. So you don't play the Boilermakers this year. Wow. Fresno State, you should win that game. If you lose to Fresno State in the opener, I thought Texas was the opener, I misspoke. Fresno State on August the 31st is the opener. And if you lose to Fresno State, you're not going to beat Texas. I can tell you that right now. I don't care how much schemes that you have. I don't care who's out on the field playing. If you can't beat Fresno State, ain't no way in hell you beat Texas. We can just get that out of our mind. So if you start 0-2 and you're looking to kind of rebound and win against Arkansas State, the program is in bad shape. Because if you barely survive against Arkansas State and you lost to Fresno State in the opener, Texas went ahead and trounced you. You survived against Arkansas State, USC is going to come to town and they're going to do you dirty in the big house. But I could be wrong. They could start 3-0. Who knows? That's the beauty of college football. Michigan man, let me know what you think. Are the Wolverines serious? If they are serious, then this recruiting has to kind of uptick. You can't keep going down this same road expecting a different outcome. Again, thank you all for listening today. We'll be back. Same Vern time, same Vern channel. This is Vern at App Stupid.